Welcome to WagerTalk TV MLB Super Early Bird Special. You're going to save $350 off the entire baseball season. That $745 price through the World Series, less than $125 a month. That's right, you guys use coupon code MLB SEB 2020. MLB SEB 2020. This offer is valid through this Sunday, March 7th at WagerTalk and sportsmemo.com. Speaking of packages, Brian Leonard, you are off to a hot start in spring training baseball, which is what this video is. How to bet spring training. You're up 10 units for your customers. Congratulations. Brian Leonard at B Leonard Sports, Adam Burke at Skating Tripods. Whoever knew you could bet on spring training baseball?
You know, I had never done it until last year, and then I found out a few things from going to spring training games, and it's worked out very well. I treat it a lot like hockey, where the variance is so high in these games as it is in hockey, you don't want to be laying high numbers. You get a lot of underdogs. And
ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
that's why you're up over 10 units. That would make sense.
Yeah, that's what I do. And one of the things I've learned from going to these spring training games is they give too much advantage to the home team. Just because it's your home ballpark does not mean you have an advantage. The only advantage you have is you get to bat last, which is obviously true regardless. But from a standpoint of fans, you go to a spring training game, and it's more pronounced in Arizona, where you've got all the fields are within 40 minutes of each other. In Florida, they're more spread out. So the home field will have a higher percentage of winning in Florida than it does in Arizona. But you go to a game, and like when we go to the games, we get up in the morning and we say, okay, when I go with Marco, we'll use this example. I say, okay, this pitcher's going here, I'd like to see him. Marco says, well, this place has better food, I want to go there.
Oh,
so
no.
we go to these different ballparks, and you get to the ballpark, and the situations you get, sometimes, like you go to the Cleveland Indians ballpark, you got 30% Indians fans, 70% Cubs fans or whatever, because that's just the way it is. So it's not like a normal game when these teams have big advantage.
So home field is
actually not valuable at all. The second thing is, during the regular season, the teams are out there to try to win. Whatever they got to do to try to win that game. In spring training, all you want to do is get some time in for these players, get a look at these players, and nobody cares if you win or lose. Nobody remembers at the end of the year, hey, the Atlanta Braves, had a 30-10 record in spring training. Nobody cares about that. So it's a totally different ball game. It's sort of like exhibition football, and there's a lot of advantages on playing road teams in spring training.
All right, Adam. Brian just mentioned NFL preseason, for example. I never thought there was value in it. I never understood it until I started working at WagerTalk and realized there was an incredible amount of value in the preseason. Obviously, spring training is the MLB preseason. Your thoughts on it, and tell me how you address it from a handicapping perspective.
I'm glad that's the direction that you went with it, because a lot of times if you follow the beat writers, and Twitter is phenomenal for this, you're going to know exactly how long the starter is going to pitch. You're going to know which relievers are going to follow the starter. You're going to know if it's major league guys, if it's AAA guys, AA guys. They take extra players on the travel squad if they play a road game, something like that. It's just like when coaches in the NFL tell you, well, okay, Baker Mayfield's going to play the first quarter. Baker Mayfield's going to play the first half. Then we're going to kind of go from there. And even pitchers will say, they'll talk to the beat writers and say, well, I don't have my fastball command right now. I'm just going to go out there and work on my fastball. I'm going to throw 45 fastballs out of my 50 pitches.
Because it doesn't matter.
Right.
The end result of the game doesn't matter. Right. This to get you ready for the regular season.
Right. And you want to handicap it in that way. It's all about finding information in spring training to know who's going to play, how they're going to play, what their goals are for that particular start or something like that. You can find a lot of value.
One thing that does scare me, because we do kind of see this in the NFL, is that coaches sometimes lie or are very vague about things. Do you find that with baseball coaches?
Not when it comes to spring training, because all of these guys are on a structured plan. They're all going to ramp up for the season, the same way or something that's comfortable for them. So if a guy's supposed to pitch that day, he will, and he'll pitch as much as he's supposed to, unless he's getting his brain beaten in, and then, of course, he'll go to the bullpen and finish his work. But for the most part, these guys are so structured and regimented in spring training that if a guy's supposed to pitch, he's going to.
Okay.
Yeah, you take a look at what he just said about the pitchers not having their stuff. In spring training, it doesn't matter. So you'll have a guy go out there and he's got to get up to 70 pitches because he wants to get towards, as the season goes on, usually your starters go 1 inning, 2 innings, 3 innings. 70 pitches, 90 pitches. They want to be up by 90 pitches by the time the season starts. So this guy is supposed to throw 70 pitches. It doesn't matter if he's getting whacked around or not. He has got to get to that 70 pitch. So a lot of times, yeah, they will pull him a little bit early and let him throw in the bullpen. But a lot of times they'll just keep him in there because they don't care. And when people look, one of the mistakes people look early in the season, they will look at what the actual stats were for spring training, not knowing that this guy came out and said, I'm going to throw fastballs 40 times, where the other team's looking at it, hey, this guy's just only throwing fastballs.
And he's going to give us free batting practice for the day.
So their numbers look good, and this guy's numbers look bad. So you've got to take a grain of salt when you're looking at the stats in spring training. But you're right. A lot of times they'll just say, this guy's going to be in there for this long, this guy's going to be in there for that long. And that's how you take a look at the entire game and knowing who's going to play, and that's how you win in spring training.
Awesome stuff. Thank you to Brian and Adam. You can get Adam's MLB betting guide right now for 2020 season on Amazon.com or bangthebook.com. You can also get Brian's MLB package. You'll save $350 off the entire MLB season. That makes the price $745 through the World Series. That's less than $125 a month when you use coupon code MLBSEB2020. This offer is valid through Sunday, March 7th at WagerTalk.com.